Aphex twin, Richard D. James, user 1808191, whatever you want to call him. You cannot deny Aphex Twin's impact on popular music today, from inspiring acts like Tame Impala to Skrillex, all the way to Limp Bizkit. But today, we're not going to be looking at that. Over his vast, expansive, genre-defying catalogue, okay, I'll get off it now. You can see Richard's obsession with his own face, whether it be through his album covers all the way into his music. Today, we're going to be looking at how Aphex Twin uses his face, and why he does it like that, like what the fuck?
But before we start answering these questions, let's see all the times that he has used his face. Pre-1995, the face was basically unable to be seen unless you were to click on an interview with Richard himself. On both albums before 1995, in the Selected Ambient Works series, they both focused on his logo, inspired by etchings he did on the back of a leather suitcase 26 years ago. The only sighting pre-1995 I could find of his face was a brief segment with a mannequin resembling him in the On music video. But then, come April of 1995, I Care Because You Do entered the charts with Richard's grotesque self-portrait as its cover. This was my first experience with Aphex Twin. I saw his creepy ass on a topster and it gave me a nightmare the day after, so I checked it out. When looking at the back of the I Care Because You Do vinyl, or I imagine the booklet of the CD, you see Everything by Richard D. James, self-portrait painted by me, design help from John. Now, you might be wondering, who is John? Well, Johnny Clayton, or we'll just go by John for the rest of the video, is Richard's right-hand man in the whole design of Aphex Twin's albums on vinyl and CD. He says he's helped with the covers like I Care Because You Do and the Richard D. James album and many others. This was the guy that got him onto Photoshop and helped him with the design of these grotesque faces we'll be seeing for the rest of the video. But anyway, later in September of 1995 we'd get the Donkey Rhubarb EP, where the cover features 25 pictures of Richard's mouth, in like a cartoon form. Anyway, that wouldn't be that bad, but the music video, what the fuck is this? It would feature children playing with a teddy bear version of Richard. I don't know, chat. I thought I'd read this from the comments of that video on YouTube. I'm one of those kids dancing with these colourful bears. The video was recorded back in a playground area in Crampton Primary School in South East London in the late 90s. I remember it being one of those no-work/fun days in primary school. I can't remember if they played this song while they asked us to dance and jump around with the bears, but I vaguely remember speakers and loud noises. Also, not 100% sure if they got consent from all our parents as well. Haha, the 90s. Can relate. Obviously, the video is quite nostalgic for me, as I can pause the video and name some of the kids running around. Stephen, he's the one hugging the bear. Raina? Sean? Chantelli? Can I just not talk, or what are these names? 20 years later, I'm a massive fan of Richard D. James, and he's a great inspiration to me. That rounds off 1995. Now, moving into 1996, there's not much here, apart from my favourite album, the Richard D. James album. Now, on that Richard D. James album, there is a big picture of him. Often thought to be a picture, it's a photoshopped photo. According to Wikipedia, it's just a photoshopped photo. The cover art for Richard D. James' album is credited to both James and Johnny Clayton. Clayton did not accept credit for the album cover, stating that he taught James how to use Photoshop, and he started playing around with his own self-images. That's what led to the cover. One more thing for 96. In August, he would release an EP called Girl/Boy EP, where the cover is a picture of his stillborn older brother's grave. Anyway, on this album, there'd be a song called, Girl Boy? Anyway, there's a video of him playing it live on YouTube, and there's his Donkey Rhubarb teddy bear thingamabobs on stage dancing and fighting. Yep. Oh, look at that one go. So this probably means there was a couple of shows where the teddy bears were on stage. Take this info how you will. Wait a minute, how do you even pronounce this?
Rhubarb.
Oh, for fuck's sake. 1996 was pretty quiet on the Aphex Twin front, but 1997. In October of 1997, we would get the Come to Daddy EP, containing whatever the fuck this cover is. Like, what? The cover contains a bunch of kindergarten-looking children, with their faces being replaced with Richard's face. This is often speculated to just be a random image edited by a man called Cunningham, who also directed the music video, which we'll talk about later, but no original photo has been found, unlike a single that we have coming up. I also found another Wikipedia article just for the single, not for the EP, with this picture, which is also a picture of a bootleg cassette. Or it could be from the music video shoot, where they were wearing masks. Speaking of which, the biggest song off that album is Come to Daddy. This song got a video directed by Cunningham. It follows a bunch of school-aged children similar to the ones on the cover running around a council estate and trashing it while holding a big TV with a picture of Richard. Needless to say, all these kids have pictures of Richard on their face. The video starts with an old woman walking her dog before finding a TV where a distorted image of Richard pops up. We then see the Richard children thingamajigs running around and causing carnage before Richard screams in the old woman's face, which I just find really funny. Heat. Anyway, the last thing I want to talk about is 1999's Windowlicker EP, where there are three main things. Number one, the cover. Yep. Here's the original photo, which was found a couple of years later. I can't tell whether it's edited or whether, the photo was taken for the cover. Secondly, I want to talk about the music video. It's really good. Anyway, here's what Mike the Snare said in his deep discog dive on Aphex Twin, just to save me from repeating what he said.
Don't forget about its music video. The first 4 minutes are a 90s hip-hop video parody with one swear word per second. Then Richard comes in with his limo. Then he dances. Then this. Then this. Then this.
This face mask has been used in a couple of live shows by his backup dancers, by the way. Overall, Cunningham got himself another hood classic. Third and finally, the second song on the EP, Formula, at 5 minutes 27 in, using an audio visualizer, more specifically Metasynth, you can see Richard D. James's face in the music. Yeah. This rounds off the Windowlicker EP. And that's basically it. All of the Aphex Twin albums, singles, and EPs have not contained his face, in the music or even on the covers. Apart from a couple of merch lines that aren't really that notable, apart from this Donkey Rhubarb plush that I'm really pissed I missed out on because, well, I wasn't really a fan of Aphex Twin in 2018, you see. I was listening to Nerd Out and Lady Gaga. Fuck me. Anyway, to answer the title of this video, why is he so obsessed with his face? We need to go back to 1769, where on August 15th... Nah, just kidding. Funny face go brrrr. The guy that also played the Joker.